was capable of pumping out these ridiculous tsunamis left and right, as well as ragdolling Vice Admiral giants. But a Prime Whitebeard, on the other hand, was a different breed.
So what's up, y'all? This isn't going to be a well-edited video. This is just going to be a debunk and like a talk over on a scale. It's about Whitebeard and what he would do in the 4th Great Ninja War in Naruto. I'm not going to go over like the whole video. I'm just going to go for like the fundamentals and the basics of the video. I have a lot of contentions with what I saw, so without further ado, let's get started.
Not only was he still in possession of the Quake fruit, he was fully healthy and thus had no such haki problem. As further testament to his strength, during Odin's flashback, we see that Whitebeard could hold his own with none other than the Pirate King himself for 3 consecutive days and nights with little to no injury. Mind you that Roger was someone shown capable of low-diffing Admiral. Now, when it comes to ending the 4th Great Ninja War, it's important to outline the primary objectives, as these are the main factors for determining whether or not a Prime Beard could have been successful. We see them highlight clearly at the end of the 5 Kage summit when Obito presents an ultimatum to the Kage. Either surrender the last 2, outscale a Obito fast enough to perception blitz characters like Hashirama, Tobirama, as well as overpower Kurama Avatar mode Naruto. In this case, getting the Biju out and taking them under the Alliance's control via chakra manipulation or just destroying Obito both suffice as the catalyst for ending the war, seeing as after which all he would need to do is just subdue Madara in tandem with the reanimated Hokage. But the question is Whitebeard fast and strong enough as well as hacked out enough to do so? To analyze Whitebeard's strength, we need to understand his power scaling in the series of One Piece. For those of you that don't know, Whitebeard was someone stated in the manga Vivo card to have the capacity to destroy the One Piece world. Now, the reason this is so impressive is because the One Piece world is consistently portrayed to be significantly larger than the Earth. This is evident from the size of Sandora River in Alabasta, as well as the presence of multiple moons, with the planet existing within its own massive Javian system. The One Piece planet is also stated to have tens of millions of islands, far exceeding Earth's count, and the list goes on and on. Now, regardless of whether you interpret this statement to be overcoming the gravitational binding energy of the planet or just shifting continents due to the nature of the Quake fruit, though I think this argument is a little strange since the abilities are shown to pretty blatantly affect the environment in ways that are far beyond the parameters of conventional earthquakes. But regardless, to be able to significantly affect the One Piece planet is a very ridiculously strong feat in and of itself. In fact, the seismic energy that would be needed to generate as such would be much greater than it would be on Earth, especially due to the fact that a reliable source from his era in Suru implied that at the bare minimum, Whitebeard's quakes possess planetary range, which would have required 167 eurotons of TNT or large planetary energy to do so. So even if I were to grant that he couldn't actually destroy the planet in the traditional sense, he'd still be large planetary plus. And supposing you do agree with him destroying the planet in the conventional manner, then of course he would have the ability to destroy a dwarf star. In terms of
Whoa, yeah, stop that right there, my boy. So about Whitebeard and the tremor fruit, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but in every single statement, it's more so giving like a metric on what the tremor fruit is capable of doing. And because of this, Whitebeard could destroy the world. Like translating the Spanish version up top, it says, after possessing the Gura no Mi, this man Whitebeard could destroy the world. So let me explain. The tremor fruit has the ability capable of destroying the world, but if it had the ability to actually happen, the One Piece world wouldn't exist anymore. So yes, the tremor fruit has the ability to be capable of destroying the world. There's just nobody who's possessed it to actually make that happen. Devil fruits can only be as strong as its user. So if the tremor fruit has the ability to destroy the world, but the user can't output the necessary energy out of his devil fruit to make that happen, then it's still possible for Whitebeard to destroy the world, technically, right? But it's just not probable for him to destroy the world. It's most likely not the case, and that he actually can't destroy the world. And you wouldn't be able to scale off of a possibility. Like, this is what we call wanking, headcanon, ignorance. But we could scale Whitebeard off of his Marineford feat, and if we're using calcs, which I don't agree with, then the accepted calc is country level.
Comparison to Whitebeard. It's by no surprise that Naruto characters are very powerful, but our first significant display of strength begins with the Pain Invasion, where the infamous Chibaku Tensei feat is performed. The gravitational potential energy required to suspend this large body of rock in air actually comes out to around country level. Keep in mind, this was a Pain who was highly fatigued and weaker, seeing as he was far away from Nagato. The invasion also provides us with some of the best feats in Naruto up until around the War arc, that being the Rasen Shuriken feat, wherein Pain is able to dodge Naruto's attack from mid mere centimeters away that could travel several kilometers in a single second, which actually comes out to massively hypersonic plus, well over 1,000 times the speed of sound. From this point on, Biju bombs get progressively more disastrous until the Ten Tails performs its own, which should put Obito as a being who's capable of harnessing its power, and since we know that Jinchuriki are way more powerful than the lone Biju, in the super high multi-continental plus to potentially moon level ranges of power. And at this point in time, he's inferior to Jubidara, who has sub-rail and relative.
I also find it disingenuous that you argue the One Piece world is massive and scale a small village in Naruto to country level when it's just one small village within a country, because the land of the fire is the country, right? So basically, you presented an argument where Naruto world could be bigger than what we think as well, but don't expose those possibilities when you give every calc and detail to prove the size of the One Piece world. Like, this video was always going to be just biased.
We know that a prime Whitebeard surpasses the likes of an old and out-shaped Rayleigh, who performed an FTL feat against Kizaru, and of course Sanji.
So yeah, this isn't an FTL feat. Rayleigh stops Kizaru while Kizaru was still charging up his beam. In fact, the beam never shot off until Rayleigh kicked it out of Kizaru's legs. So Rayleigh didn't outspeed any type of light beam or anything like that. And in this other panel, Kizaru is also charging up and has yet to move, even after Rayleigh cuts the light. This is because he isn't traveling as the beam goes further. He's still just charging, because if he was, then he wouldn't have ended up in the exact same spot when Rayleigh cut the beam. He would have at least be how far the beam reached, right? So this wouldn't make Rayleigh faster than light since he's not actually outspeeding light. He would just be relativistic since Kizaru is the speed of light. And I don't believe Whitebeard is relative in speed to Kizaru or Rayleigh at all, considering he got speed blitzed by Kizaru.
Obito is supposedly impervious to all energies besides Senjutsu, as Tobirama says nothing but Senjutsu can damage him. This isn't really that big of an issue, as we know it's only really referring to ninjutsu itself via Kaguya, and of course Madara almost being killed by an 8th Gates guy. So Whitebeard would have.
Okay, buddy, first of all, Kaguya and my guy have straight Senjutsu chakra.
It doesn't really matter what they were actually referring to, which they didn't refer to it as only working on ninjutsu. These types of chakras have fundamental properties. There's nature, spirit, and physical energy or chakra. And in One Piece, Haki is the embodiment of spirit. In other words, spirit energy. If these shinobi are already using spirit and physical-based energy to hurt Obito and it's not working, it's because spirit-based energy won't work. In other words, Haki doesn't work. Not even observation Haki. Whitebeard gets clapped by Obito.